before I ask my questions, I have an objection. We've been having hearings in a classified setting on this, our first public hearing. But and I'm sorry Senator Kaine has had to step away, but in a previous hearing, he expressed frustration in various hearings he had been to, and a frustration that I shared, that when the State Department is here and we ask them a question, they say, well, you have to ask the Defense Department that. And now today, again, Defense Department people are before us, and a question was asked, and the answer to Senator Inhofe was, well, you have to ask the State Department that. Senator Kaine gently but fatherly sent a message to the administration at our last classified hearing that we need to cut that out, that members of the Defense Department need to be ready for the questions that we have asked and that we're going to ask. And so I object to the continuation of that in this hearing today. While I'm at it, I would also point out, General Milley, I appreciate your statement, and I've read it, and I understand what you're trying to say. But further than what you mentioned, the allegation is that you told combatant commanders to report back to you. Our clear understanding is that they are not in the chain of command. You are not in their chain of command, that they report directly to the commander-in-chief through the secretary. And so to the extent that you told them to report to you, they were not in your chain of command. Now let me see if I can get one question in here, having taken 2 minutes to mention a very important objection. General Milley, in the fall of 2020, you said an accelerated withdrawal would risk substantial gains and damage U.S. credibility. Now, I want to ask our witnesses about U.S. credibility. On July 8, President Biden said, the likelihood there's going to be Taliban overrunning everything and owning the whole country is highly unlikely. We now know he was advised, actually, this might happen. Turns out it was completely untrue, that statement on July 8th. Later in July, the President of the United States, President Biden, says, I trust the capacity of the Afghan military, better trained, better equipped, and more competent in terms of conducting the war. President Biden was wrong on that. We told our interpreters, our drivers, our friends, the people who had our backs during this entire period of time, that we would not abandon them, and that's exactly what we did. And in an interview, it's already been referred to on network news, President Biden says, and I quote, if there's American citizens left, we're going to stay and get them all out. 2 days later, the President of the United States unequivocally said, any American who wants to come home, we'll get you home. We're going to stay and get them out. The President of the United States, our Commander-in-Chief, did exactly the opposite. Now, I think you were right, General Milley, when you advised that our credibility would be damaged. Our credibility has been gravely damaged, has it not, General Milley?
I think that our credibility with allies and partners around the world and with adversaries is being intensely reviewed by them to see which way this is going to go. And I think that damage is one word that could be used, yes.
Yes, and Secretary Austin, no question that this sends a disastrous message to China and Russia. What message does it send to our NATO allies and our other allies around the world about not only our credibility, but our national resolve?
Thanks, Senator. What the world witnessed is United States military evacuating 124,000 people out of a contested environment in 17 days.
Well, you testified that that was a great accomplishment, our withdrawal and our evacuation. What about our credibility?
As I engage my counterparts, I think our credibility remains solid. Clearly, Senator, there will be people who question things going forward, but I would say that, you know, the United States military is one that, and the United States of America, people place great trust and confidence in. And relationships are things that we have to work on continuously. And we understand that, and we'll continue to do that.
Thank you, Senator Wicker. Senator Gillibrand, please.